What happened in Japan in 1995? It was a year that shook Japan to its core and changed the nation forever. Picture this. A devastating earthquake rocks Kobe. A doomsday cult unleashes toxic fumes in Tokyo, and amidst the chaos, Japan's tech scene is sparking global revolutions while cultural moments redefine the zeitgeist. From heartbreak to breakthroughs, 1995 was a roller coaster of triumphs and trials, so grab a seat, let's rewind through the events that made this year unforgettable. Digital photography was just taking its first baby steps. What was the pioneering camera that brought this technology to everyday consumers? It was the Casio QV10, the first consumer digital camera to feature an LCD screen. That was a game changer, letting users see their photos instantly and just delete the ones they didn't want to keep. How amazing were those photos? The QV10 boasted a 0.25 megapixel resolution, producing images at 320 by 240 pixels. Now that's modest by today's standards, but cutting edge for the time. It also had a cutting edge price of 65,000 yen. That's about $691 in 1995 dollars or $1,430 today. And memory cards, well, unlike today's devices, the QV10 didn't accept memory cards. It came equipped with a built-in 2 megabyte flash memory, meaning it could store up to 96 images, making it a compact powerhouse for its era. But speaking of memory cards, SanDisk, in collaboration with Japanese companies like Toshiba, introduced the Compact Flash, or CF card, in 1995. This is what a CF card looks like next to an SD card. The Sega Saturn and Sony PlayStation, both released in late 1994, gained significant traction. By 1995, the PlayStation was a global hit, selling 2.3 million units and establishing Sony as a gaming giant and influencing pop culture worldwide. Let's dive into HDTV. NHK, Japan Broadcasting Corporation, advanced its HDTV system building on decades of research. Hivision offered 1125 line resolution, far surpassing standard TV. Now, what would cause tens of thousands of people to gather in Akihabara for a midnight launch? None other than the release of Windows 95 on November 23rd. Windows 95 gave us the Start menu, the taskbar, right-click menus, drag and drop, and a better multimedia experience over Windows 3.1. What were the system requirements for Windows 95? A 386DX or higher, like a 486, and a minimum of 4 to 8 megabytes of RAM. You also needed a whole 55 megabytes of free space on your hard drive. To put that in perspective, the video you're watching right now is about 15 gigabytes on my hard drive. About processing power, in 1995, the Intel Pentium Pro was considered the best consumer computer processor on the market, particularly for high-end performance. Though its high cost and limited software optimization for 32-bit applications meant it was often overkill for typical home use. The cost of a personal home computer running an Intel Pentium processor with Windows 95 would set you back about $3,500. Adjusting for inflation, that'd be about $6,200 today. Up until now, VHS was king of home movies, with rental stores all over the country. Then Sony, Panasonic, and Philips got together and had a baby. Don't judge. They called it the DVD. To give you an idea of what a leap forward this was, a CD can hold 700 megabytes of data, while a DVD can hold up to 4.7 gigabytes of data. Launched in July by NTT Personal, DDI Pocket, and Astel, this phone worked as a cell phone outdoors and a cordless phone at home, offering free calls via base stations. Cheaper than a mobile phone for voice and texting, PHS used 2G technology, meaning they couldn't handle video, and while coverage was excellent in big cities, they're pretty much useless in the rural areas. Retail service ended in January 2021, but the technology did not die off completely. It lives on in IoT devices. Now, many professionals carried pagers called pokeberu, meaning pocket bell. Between the Peach and the Pocket Bell, young people developed a language of their own, using numbers to represent words. 4046 for yoroshiku, 0804 for ohayo, and 14106 for aishiteru. These devices influenced fashion. The rise of pagers and early mobile phones influenced accessory trends, with decorative phone straps becoming a status symbol. NTT was a dominant force in Japan's telecom sector. It was one of the largest telecom companies in the world at the time, benefiting from Japan's advanced infrastructure and early mobile technology adoption. Now let's talk about the economy. In 1995, Japan's GDP was about 5.5 trillion, making it one of the world's largest economies at the time. But still, businesses and banks were grappling with bad loans and deflationary pressures. The exchange rate was about 94 yen to the dollar. This strong yen hurt Japan's export-driven economy, making its goods more expensive abroad, and reducing competitiveness, particularly in industries like electronics and automobiles. As you can guess, Japan was not a tourist destination in 1995. This economic climate led to a surge in 100-yen shops like Daiso and Kandu, which opened in 1993. They became cultural staples by offering affordable goods during tough times. The American clothing retailer Gap entered the Japanese market in 1995, quickly establishing a nationwide presence, winning over Japanese fans by collaborating with local designers. There were cultural milestones. Japan experienced several significant cultural milestones across various domains, reflecting its dynamic blend of tradition and modernity. The anime Neon Genesis Evangelion, directed by Hideaki Anno, premiered on October 4th on Tokyo TV. This psychological and philosophical mecha series became a cultural phenomenon, influencing anime globally and spawning a franchise with lasting impact. Its debut marked a turning point in anime storytelling, emphasizing complex characters and existential themes. Additionally, Ghost in the Shell, a seminal cyberpunk anime film by Mamoru Oshii, was released, further cementing Japan's influence on global pop culture with exploration of technology and identity. The gaming industry thrived. Tales of Phantasia debuted on Super Famicom with innovative voice acting, setting a standard for the Tales series. Chrono Trigger launched with acclaimed storytelling and multiple endings. Virtua Fighter popularized 3D fighting games in arcades. Pokemon's first games, developed in 1995 and released in 1996, lay the foundation for this global juggernaut. By the way, what does Pokemon mean? Well, you gotta wait till the end of the video to find out. Now, two events that shook Japan and the world. The Great Hanshin Awaji earthquake. On January 17, 1995, a devastating earthquake struck Kobe, causing over 6,400 deaths, displacing more than 45,000 people. Local industries, infrastructure, and supply chains were all disrupted, exposing inefficiencies in government response and coordination. Japan's convenience stores and supermarkets have a just-in-time delivery system. Your local 7-Eleven receives several deliveries per day. That's why the food is fresh, but it also means that if trucks can't reach stores, there's no food. The convenience and logistics that people had come to rely on in their everyday lives became a liability. Then there was the Ohm Shinrikyo subway gas attack. I was here in Tokyo on that day. I still remember where I was. On the morning of March 20th, 1995, the doomsday cult Ohm Shinrikyo released sarin gas, a deadly nerve agent, on 3 lines of the Tokyo subway system, Chiyoda, Marunouchi, and Hibiya, during the morning rush hour. They were targeting trains that converged at the Kasumigaseki station, a hub for government workers. Now, their goal was to overthrow the Japanese government and establish a theocratic state. Would you believe there used to be trash cans all over Tokyo? Every train platform, every street corner had a trash can. After the attack, the garbage cans were removed, never to return. So if you're walking around Tokyo all day with an empty water bottle, you know who to blame. But what was transportation like at the time? Today, I can tap my phone at almost any train station, subway, or bus, and pay automatically with the Passmo app on my phone. I can charge that Passmo through my credit card at any time, day or night. But back in 1995, commuters in Tokyo primarily paid using cash, paper tickets, and early forms of prepaid cards. Tokyo commuters relied primarily on single-journey paper tickets purchased at station counters or vending machines, with fares based on distance traveled. Commuters had to navigate charts or consult staff, wait in line, insert their tickets into a manual or semi-operated gate, which collected them upon exit. Regular travelers like students and office workers often use paper-based commuter passes called Teikiken, offering unlimited travel on specific routes. Cash remained dominant, especially for the occasional traveler, with vending machines and counters accepting coins and some banknotes, while fare adjustment machines or staff handled underpayments at destination stations. Now, the people working at the train station were amazing. They would look at your ticket and automatically know if you had paid the right fare. Prepaid magnetic cards such as JR East's Orange Card and IO Card were gaining popularity, allowing ticket purchases or direct use at compatible gates, though commuters still had to physically insert the card into the gate. Other operators like Tokyo Metro and private railways had their own prepaid card systems. Lack of compatibility between the systems meant that commuters had to purchase several tickets along their commute if they're transferring between train companies. While contactless IC cards like Suica and Passmo were still 6 years away, magnetic cards and early automated gates laid the groundwork for future advancements. Turning to politics now, the Murayama Statement. On August 15, 1995, Prime Minister Tomoichi Murayama issued a landmark statement expressing deep remorse and heartfelt apology for Japan's wartime aggression, particularly in Asia. This was known as the Murayama Statement. It became a cornerstone of Japan's official policy on historical responsibility, though it sparked domestic and international debate. I told you, 1995 was a crazy year. Will we get a break in 96? Stay tuned to find out. Oh, probably thought I forgot to tell you, what does Pokemon mean? Well, it comes from Pocket Monster, because they're small, they can fit in your pocket, and they're monsters.